At the start of the drama, three friends are shown whose names are Sunung Min, Jang-na, and Hyri, who are enjoying a trip on the beach. Just then, Sunung Min says, "You know, right, what is the most important thing after coming on a trip?" Then Hyri and Jang-na say with excitement, "Drinking." After this, the three go to a restaurant to drink. There, those three drink a lot, due to which Hyri gets very intoxicated, and she leaves telling her friends, "I will just go get fresh air." And she starts walking near the beach and saying to herself, "I wish something good happens." Just then, she sees a boy who is going straight into the sea. Seeing him, Hyri says, "Is he going to drown somewhere?" Because that boy is moving towards the deep side of the sea. So Hyri catches him from behind and says, "Please, don't give your life." That boy says, "Let me go." Hyri says, "Are you crazy? I won't let you do this." Hearing this, that boy frees his hand and turns back. Then due to force, Hyri is about to fall, so the boy catches her and saves her from falling. Seeing this boy's face in this moment, Hyri speaks in her mind, "I don't know if it is because of the drink, or if my heart has started beating fast seeing this boy truly." After thinking all this, Hyri faints. Now we see a scene from the past where those three are drinking. Then Jang-na says, "You guys know, right?" Just then, Jang-na, giving the reference of manga, says, "If the little mermaid didn't get her love, she would turn into foam." But in the story of the Little Mermaid, everything becomes fine in the end and they get married. But in the end of the manga, she doesn't get her love and she goes into the water and turns into foam. And its ending is neither sad nor happy because her real goal was to become an immortal soul, which she had to achieve. Now in the present scene, when Hyri wakes up, she says, "What is all this? Why am I sleeping on this sandy beach? Why are my clothes wet? And why am I alone here? Was I dreaming? I felt that I hugged someone. If this was all a dream, then why does it feel real to me? Was he really a mermaid? No, I had a dream about that manga's mermaid story." After saying all this, Hyri goes back to her friends. Then her friends say, "What happened? Why are you so wet?" Hyri says, "I felt I had hugged someone." Just then, that boy from the beach comes and covers Hyri with a towel and says, "I was looking for you for a long time." And then that boy goes and opens the lock of that launch. Then we get to know that that boy is the owner of this launch. And then he says to those three, "Go inside. Your room is on the second floor." And then giving them the key, he leaves from there. After this, sitting in the room, those three are eating noodles. Just then, Jang-na says, "How handsome is the owner here? When I saw him, my senses flew away. I couldn't believe how someone can be so handsome. He is tall, handsome, and the owner of this place." Sunung Min says, "His age didn't look that much either." Just then, Hyri says, "What do you guys think? Is it possible that after touching someone, you can start liking him?" Jang-na says, "What do you want to say?" Hyri says, "I want to say, can you start liking someone due to physical contact?" After speaking, Hyri touches Sunung Min's cheek and says, "Exactly like this. Are you feeling good? Or if I hug you, will you start loving me?" Just then, Sunung Min moves back and says, "What are you doing?" After looking, Jang-na says, "Yes, it can happen. Due to physical contact, feelings can develop for anyone. I agree with this matter." Then Hyri says, "I think it is the same person who hugged me." Then Jang-na and Sunung Min say, "What do you mean?" Then Hyri says, "You guys didn't see that I was completely wet?" Hearing this, Jang-na says, "By the way, if seen, that owner was also completely wet." Then Hyri says, "At that time I was walking on the beach. Just then I saw a human who was wearing full clothes, and he was going towards the sea." Jang-na says, "Was he going to commit suicide?" Hyri says, "I am not sure. I just saw him and ran towards him quickly. Without understanding the truth, I went and grabbed him forcefully." Jang-na asks, "Did you hug him? Then what happened after that?" "What happened after that?" Hyri says, "I don't know anything because I had fainted, but I can say with guarantee that when I had fainted, then he had held me tightly by the waist, and my heart was beating very fast." Hearing all this, Jang-na says, "What do you want to say? That the boy we are talking about is the same boy who is the owner of that launch?" Hyri cuts in, "Yes." Just then, Sunung Min says, "You should be a novelist. You have made a very good story." Hyri says, "I am not making any story. When I saw his face again, then I remembered everything well." Jang-na, while blushing, says, "From now on I will call him Mermaid Prince." "Then does this mean you have started feeling the Mermaid Prince?" Hearing this, Hyri also starts blushing. Seeing her blushing, Jang-na teases her and says, "Okay, Hyri, stay a bit careful. Let him not be a sad human." Then Hyri, while blushing, says, "You also think very upside down? I don't have that much interest in him." In the next scene, that same boy from the beach is sitting alone, whose name is Choi Woo, and he is the male lead of this drama. Just then, Hyri comes to him and asks, "At that time on the beach, it was you, right?" Then Choi Woo says, "Yes." Then Hyri says, "At that time I felt that you are going to do something wrong in the water. That is why I ran to you quickly and grabbed you. At that time, the situation was such that anyone would get the wrong misunderstanding." Then Choi Woo says, "By the way, you should have taken care of yourself first because you were very drunk." Then Hyri says, "You are saying right, and forgive me, because I had fainted in your arms. Then Choi Woo says, no problem. Go and rest, otherwise you will feel cold. Saying this, he starts leaving. Then Hyri catches him and stops him. But Choi Woo quickly jerks his hand and says, don't touch me. Hearing this, Hyri speaks in her mind, I admit he is handsome, but what is the need to be so rude? And this is a bit weird. Why is my body becoming warm without any reason? And my heartbeat has also become very fast. Am I going crazy? I am just worried about this thing that why did he talk to me rudely? After this, when Hyri is sleeping, then she sees a dream in which she is sleeping. But just then at 3 o'clock in the night, her eye opens. Then on her side, Choi Woo is lying asleep. His body looks so attractive to Hyri that she cannot control herself, and she starts touching his body. Just then, Choi Woo wakes up, and then at that same time, Hyri's eye also opens and she starts screaming. Just then, hearing her voice, Jang Na and Sunung Min also wake up and ask Hyri, what happened? Then Hyri says, nothing, you go to sleep. And then the three go to sleep. The next morning when Hyri wakes up, she sees that Choi Woo is readying breakfast for everyone. Just then she thinks about that dream from the night and says, it seems I have gone crazy. And then looking at Choi Woo, she says, how can it be like this? Just because I hugged him. And due to hugging, I really fell in love? Thinking this, Hyri goes down. Then Choi Woo says, breakfast is ready. Then Hyri goes to Choi Woo. Just then she remembers Jang Na's words. If you have really fallen in love with him, then you go to him and touch him and see if your heart is still beating. Thinking this, Hyri holds Choi Woo's hand and puts it on her cheeks. Then Choi Woo frees his hand and leaves from there. Then Hyri says to herself, why am I like this? And then those three sit and start having breakfast. Just then Jang Na says, something is weird. His hair always remains wet. Then Sunung Min says, by the way, in the morning he told me, I am going to the beach. Then Jang Na says, by the way, Hyri, your meeting also happened with him on the beach, right? Then Sunung Min says, maybe there will be some reason due to which he likes going to the beach, or maybe he has a phobia, like you also saw earlier, how he gets flustered touching anyone. Then Hyri says, yes, I noticed this thing last night. Then Jang Na says, if it was like this, then why did he save Hyri by grabbing her waist at that time? And Hyri, did you notice anything weird? Then Hyri says, yes, I noticed something weird when last night I told him that our dairy products are finished. Then he said, okay, I will bring them tomorrow. And then he closed the door forcefully in that room and went inside. Hearing this, Jang Na says, maybe he must be hiding something in that room. Then Sunung Min says, this means that he is very strict about his privacy. Then Jang Na says, it is possible that he is a merman and there is only water in his room. Then Hyri says, you are thinking too much. Sunung Min says, whatever it is, but he is a bit weird. Then Jang Na says, how will it be if we uncover these secrets before going? Then Hyri says, yes, but how? Then Jang Na says, with the help of alcohol, because when a human is drunk, then he brings out his secrets. So then let's notice the mermaid prince and uncover his secrets. In the next scene, Jang Na is washing her hair and asks Sunung Min, can you give me a towel? Just then a new boy comes there, who gives her a wrapped towel. Then Jang Na says, you should have opened this towel and given it to me. That boy says, sorry. Hearing his voice, Jang Na looks up and gets shocked seeing that boy and says, who are you? Then that boy says, I do a part-time job here. Next time I will open the towel and give it to you. Saying this, that boy leaves. Then Jang Na says, what a place. But why do so many handsome boys live here? On the other side, Jang Na and Sunung Min are sitting. Just then, Jang Na starts muttering, a place where handsome boys live. And that place is called a hot place. Then Sunung Min says, you mean the owner? Then Jang Na says, no. Today, I met a boy who does a part-time job here and is very handsome. And then Jang Na calls Hyri and says, do you remember the plan? Then Hyri says, which plan? The plan to discover the good owner's secrets. Then Jang Na says, yes, we will execute that today. That is why when you come back, bring alcohol. Then Hyri says, okay, I will bring it. Then Jang Na says, by the way, there are 5 people here now. Then Hyri says, 5 people. Just then, Jang Na cuts the phone. Just then, 2 boys come there and start behaving rudely with Hyri. But just then, Choi Woo arrives there and says, why are you both bothering my girlfriend? Hearing this, those boys leave. After they leave, Choi Woo holds Hyri's hand and says, let's go. But just then, mistakenly, ice cream from Hyri gets on his shirt. So Hyri starts cleaning that ice cream while saying, sorry. After this, when Hyri returns, Jang Na says, you are late. Then Hyri says, I met the owner on the way. Jang Na says, where is he? Then Hyri says, he is taking a shower. Then Sunung Min says, why, what happened? Then Hyri says, nothing happened. Then Jang Na says, this is a good chance to find out his secrets. Let's go peek in his room. Saying this, they leave. Just then that same part-timer arrives there whose name is Moon Seok. Then Jang Na says, Moon Seok, what are you doing here? And then Jang Na and Sunung Min knowingly put Moon Seok on upside-down tasks so that Hyri can go into that room and look. Then Hyri stands silently outside that room and starts watching. Just then Choi Woo arrives there and says, "Hyri, what are you doing here?" Hyri gets shocked and starts stammering. And then, to avoid the topic, she says, "We are drinking. You join us too." Choi Woo looks at her with anger. Then seeing this, Hyri says, "If you don't want to drink, then come downstairs." Saying this, Hyri leaves. Now we see a scene from the past where Choi Woo is taking a shower and says to himself, "I have tactile agnosia, in which no matter what I touch, I don't feel anything. This is a mental disorder, and it won't be cured so easily. But someone will come into my life who will fix my touching sense, someone whom I can hug and feel in my arms." Now giving reference to Hyri in the present scene, Choi Woo says, "Now that girl has come into my life." After this, when everyone is drinking, then Choi Woo also comes there. But Hyri is not able to make eye contact with him due to her act. Just then, Moon Seok says, "You already made Choi Woo your friend?" Then Hyri says slowly, "Making friends with him isn't that easy." Then Jang Na says, "You both are sitting next to each other. It looks like you both are friends." Then Hyri asks Choi Woo, "Are we really friends?" On which Choi Woo doesn't say anything. Then Jang Na asks Moon Seok, "When did you start doing a part-time job?" Hearing this, Choi Woo says, "He doesn't do a part-time job here. Rather, he has come here on vacation." But Jang Na says, "But Moon Seok, you told me that I came here to do a part-time job?" Moon Seok says, "No, I do small tasks here, so I became a part-timer, right?" Choi Woo says, "Actually, he has a lot of debt on me. He has done a lot." Just then, Sunung Min says, "By the way, why did you both come so late? Did something happen there?" Then Hyri, stammering about the room peeking matter, says, "What do you mean something happened? Nothing happened." Then Choi Woo starts looking at her in a slightly weird way and says, "Hyri, can I help you with something?" Hearing this, Hyri says, "No, I will tell. Actually, when I was buying drinks." Right now, Hyri was just speaking, but just then Choi Woo stops her in between and says, "No, nothing happened." After this, Hyri is sitting completely alone. Just then Jang Na comes to her. Then Hyri says, "I am stuck in a very big trouble." Then Jang Na says, "Why? Did something happen with you and the Mermaid Prince?" Then Hyri says, "My heart is beating very fast for the Mermaid Prince, but I only feel this, not him." Hearing this, Jang Na says, "Then go and tell him everything truthfully, what you feel for him." Hyri says, "How can I do this?" But Jang Na speaks something before this. Just then Choi Woo arrives there. Therefore, avoiding the matter, Jang Na says, "I will go and drink a little more." And saying this, she leaves from there. So looking at Choi Woo, Hyri says, "Why am I suddenly feeling so much silence?" Just then, Choi Woo says, "When will you go inside?" Hyri says, "I only came here to enjoy the night ocean." Saying this, she starts leaving from there. Just then, Choi Woo holds her hand and says, "I want to join you." And then both are sitting on a bench in front of the ocean. Just then, Choi Woo says, "This is the first time that I came to the beach at night." Hyri says, "Really?" Then Choi Woo says, "It is very dark near the sea at night, and because of you, I could see this beautiful scene." Hearing this, Hyri starts blushing. Just then, Choi Woo says, "By the way, forgive me." Hyri says, "Why? For what reason were you being a little mean with me earlier?" Then Hyri says, "No problem." Then suddenly, in a sad mood, Choi Woo says, "I cannot feel anything. Even if I hold something in my hand, I don't understand that I am holding it, and because of this, I have been hurt many times. This is like a disease. I don't know why I can feel you." Hearing this, Hyri says, "Why don't we go a little closer to the sea?" And then both hold hands and start walking. And just then, Hyri loses balance. And just then, Choi Woo catches her. And at this moment, Hyri starts thinking, in talking, I don't know how we came close to each other. And then Hyri says, "You said that you feel me, right?" Then Choi Woo says, "Yes." Hyri says, "And when you are close to me, then my heart also starts beating fast." Saying this, Hyri starts kissing Choi Woo. After this, Hyri, Jang Na, and Sunung Min are sitting together. Then Sunung Min says to Hyri, "You didn't even drink that much last night. Then why are you being so lazy?" Then Hyri says, "Because I didn't sleep last night." Jang Na says, "I know. You were walking on the beach with the owner last night." Hearing this, Hyri gives a weird expression. Hearing this, Hyri leaves from there saying, "I am going to make breakfast." Seeing her expression, Jang Na says to Sunung Min, "Hyri is hiding something from us. Later we will ask her everything." But hearing Choi Woo's words, Sunung Min gets sad, and seeing his face, it looked like he likes Hyri. In the next scene, Hyri is helping Choi Woo and Sunung Min in making breakfast. But just then Choi Woo, without feeling, puts his hand on a knife, due to which his cuts his hand, and seeing this, Hyri gets very worried and says, "A lot of blood is flowing. We have to do first aid." Hearing this, Moon Seok goes to get the first aid box, and right there on the other side, Sunung Min goes to Choi Woo's room. Then there he finds a painting of Hyri, and on the painting it is written, "Hyri, I have to touch you, because for the first time in life I felt something." Seeing this, Sunung Min gets shocked, and just then, Moon Seok also comes there to get the first aid box, and Sunung Min says, "What are you doing in someone else's room? I mean, you are our guest, and you cannot go into anyone's room and touch stuff like this." Then Sunung Min stammers and says, "Sorry," and leaves from there. After this, seeing Choi Woo alone, Sunung Min asks, "Do you like Hyri? And what is that notebook in your room, on which it is written, 'Hyri, I want to touch you'? Why, US? What does this mean?" Choi Woo says, "I explain everything to you." Sunung Min says, "You said that you have to touch Hyri. This means that you have already touched Hyri." Choi Woo says, "It is not at all like you are thinking." Then Sunung Min says, "You are truly a disgusting human. Hyri isn't someone whom you will easily hurt." Saying this, he leaves from there. After his leaving, Choi Woo starts thinking about a memory in which a girl tells him, "We have been friends for the last 3 years. I tried many times to come close to you, but every time you go away from me, I cannot see that whenever I touch you. You get scared with great surprise, and that is why now I cannot stay with you." Recalling this, Choi Woo speaks to himself. "Sairi must have felt very bad because of my disease. That is why she requested me. Separate from me." And then Hyri goes to Choi Woo's room. Then there, Choi Woo is sadly swirling his hand in water. Seeing this, Hyri holds his hand and says, "If you keep doing this, then water will go into your wound." But Choi Woo frees his hand and says, "You don't need to worry about me. It is not needed." Before this, Hyri speaks something. Choi Woo frees his hand and says very rudely, "Go from here." Hyri leaves from there. Just then Sunung Min comes there and says, "Hyri, what are you doing here so late at night?" Hearing this, Hyri says, "I was just about to go inside." Just then, Sunung Min grabs her hand. "How are you feeling?" Hyri, seeing this, gets very surprised. Just then, Sunung Min says, "I am touching you. Have you started liking me?" Hyri says, "What are you saying?" Sunung Min says, "I am touching you, so that you like me." Hearing this, Hyri gets shocked. Sunung Min says, "I was just joking, because you were looking very serious. You are a very good girl. I cannot see you sad because of any boy like this." Hearing this, Hyri says, "By the way, Mr. Sunung Min is behaving so differently today. I want to know what happened to them." Sunung Min smiles and avoids the topic. In the next scene, Jang Na, Hyri, and Sunung Min are together. But Sunung Min is very sad, and Hyri is also thinking something. And looking at both of them, Jang Na speaks, "Hyri, you look okay. So what are you thinking?" Hyri says, "Nothing." Looking at his face, Jang Na says, "Anyone can tell looking at your face that you have some tension. Is everything going well at your and the owner's beach?" Hyri says, "Choi Woo is ignoring me. I feel that. He is doing this since last night." Hearing this, Sunung Min says, "Maybe something is bothering him." In the next scene, those three are walking and eating ice cream. Just then, Sunung Min cleans the ice cream from Hyri's lips with his hands. And seeing this, Jang Na says, "It is on my lips too. Wipe it." Sunung Min says, "You wipe it yourself." And saying this, avoiding Jang Na, he walks ahead. After this, those three are looking at photos on mobile. Just then, a motorcycle driver passes very close to Hyri. So Sunung Min immediately pulls her back and takes her in his arms. Seeing this, Hyri also gets shocked. Just then, Jang Na says, "You saved Hyri like a real man." After this, Hyri and Jang Na are sitting in a restaurant. Just then, Jang Na asks Hyri, "Do you truly like the owner? Are you interested in him?" Hyri blushes and says, "Earlier I felt I was just interested, but later I realized that I truly like him." And in this much time, Sunung Min comes there. And seeing Jang Na and Sunung Min, Hyri says, "Look, Sunung Min, I said, didn't I, that Hyri truly likes the owner?" And Jang Na asks Hyri, "Does the owner also like you?" Hearing this, Sunung Min says, "No, because Hyri herself told us, Choi Woo is not dating me properly." Jang Na says, "Maybe he is worried about something. That is why he is doing this." Sunung Min says, "By the way, look, Choi Woo is very handsome. That is why many girls must be liking him. And I can bet that there must be many girls like you who had love at first sight with Choi Woo. And on top of that, are you such a big fool? If he was interested in you, then he wouldn't ignore you like this today. And before this, you haven't been with any boy. And how can you say with such belief that he loves you?" Hearing this, Jang Na says, "You are speaking more than necessary." Just then, Hyri smiles and says, "I agree with Sunung Min. I am seeing dreams for no reason." In the next scene, Hyri is going back. Just then, Choi Woo comes out, and he once again ignores Hyri and is leaving. Just then, Hyri holds his hand and says, "You said that you can feel me, right?" Then Choi Woo says, "Whatever happened last night was very weird. Whatever happened was just a mistake, nothing more than that." Just then, Hyri says, "This means you don't like me even a little bit." Choi Woo says, "Hyri, forgive me, but I don't like you." Hearing this, Hyri becomes very sad. In the next scene, Jang Na and Sunung Min are seen together, and Jang Na says, "Hyri went back to the lodge to rest. By the way, you were being very harsh today." Sunung Min says, "Hyri was getting very frustrated." Jang Na says, "Does this mean you have made up your mind that you like Hyri?" Sunung Min gets shocked. Jang Na, seeing him shocked, says, "Why did you get so shocked? What did you think? I wouldn't know. We are friends for so many years." And right there on the other side, Hyri is talking alone, crying. But honestly, she is feeling sad. Suddenly, Choi Woo behaves as if nothing happened. Hyri thinks, "At least tell me the reason for doing this." Just then, Jang Na comes there and asks, "Hyri, what are you doing?" Just then, Hyri suddenly changes expression and says, "Let's go out somewhere. There will be many boys there. I wish I find someone." Jang Na says, "Fun plan. Let's go quickly." Sunung Min says, "What happened?" Hyri says, "This is women's party. That is why only women will go there. Not even a single boy is here." Jang Na says, "Look carefully. Some boys are sitting there." Hyri says, "Where?" Jang Na says, "There. What do you have to say about those boys?" Hyri says, in a drunken state, "Are you joking?" Jang Na says, "Okay, what do you think about the boy standing behind?" Hyri says, "Okay, but his eyes aren't sparkly like Choi Woo's. Choi Woo is overly dreamy." Jang Na says, "Yes, Choi Woo is handsome, or a cook." Hyri says, "That boy doesn't deserve a girl like me. He was just behaving nicely with me, but I misunderstood him." Saying this, Hyri starts to leave. Just then a person comes there and says, "Let's drink." Then Hyri says, "Yes, good. You asked me for a drink. Anyway, I have to drink a lot today." Then that person says, "Let's go inside. There are some people there." And then that person holds Hyri's hand and starts taking her inside. But just then, Sunung Min arrives there and removes that person's hand from Hyri's hand and says, "She is with me." And that person leaves from there. Just then, Sunung Min makes her sit on a chair nearby and asks Hyri, "What are you doing here?" Hyri says, "You only said that I don't understand boys. That is why I came here to meet some boys." Sunung Min says, "If you hesitate to approach boys, then why don't you do it to me? Because I like you a lot." Next morning when Hyri wakes up, she thinks, "What happened last night?" Just then, she remembers that last night Sunung Min confessed to her, "I like you." But just then, Sunung Min arrives there and asks Hyri, "Do you know what happened last night?" Hyri knowingly lies and says, "I don't remember anything. How did I reach home?" Then Sunung Min says, "I felt that you wouldn't remember anything." Saying this, Sunung Min leaves. In the next scene, Choi Woo and Moon Seok are sitting together. So Choi Woo says, "You have changed quite a lot from before." Moon Seok says, "What can I even do?" Then Moon Seok says, "This was the first time, right? When you could feel someone, and that human is Hyri, right?" Choi Woo says, "How do you know?" Moon Seok says, "I am with you for so many years, so how will I not know? By the way, Hyri told you the matter of her heart, right?" Then Choi Woo says, "What difference does it make? You know my condition, which is very different from others." Then Moon Seok says, "Hyri is also different from everyone. You said that you can feel her, therefore you listen to your heart. Stop caring about other things. You don't have much time." She is about to leave from here. On the other side, Jang Na and Sunung Min are talking. Jang Na says, "You did a very good job last night that you came to pick up Hyri." Sunung Min says, "But why did you come so late last night?" Jang Na says, "Because last night I found my Prince Charming. That is why." Now we see a scene from the past where Jang Na is drinking. Just then Moon Seok arrives there. Seeing whom, Jang Na says, "What are you doing here?" Moon Seok says, "Only Sunung Min and Hyri are going back to the lodge, so I thought you will be alone, and you will need a friend. That is why I came here." Then Jang Na says, "You are a very big playboy." Moon Seok says, "Why, is it a problem for you if I am a playboy?" Jang Na says, "No, I feel that you have become very popular among girls." Moon Seok says, "It is not like that at all." Jang Na says, "If it happened like this, then now when I meet you again, I won't be able to like you without thinking anything." Moon Seok says, "Yes, why not? I will wait for next time." Now we see the present scene, where Hyri is walking. Just then her mobile battery dies, so she starts thinking about Choi Woo and says, "He should not have been that mean, or said such harsh things to me. By the way, where am I?" And here Jang Na goes to Choi Woo and asks, "Do you know where Hyri is? She isn't picking up her phone for the last few hours." Hearing this, Choi Woo gets worried and quickly starts finding Hyri. And searching, he starts remembering the memories spent with her and regrets why he hurt Hyri. Just then he finds Hyri sitting near a pole, who was looking very scared. Seeing this, Choi Woo goes to her and says, "I found you. forgive me that I made you wait so much. Saying this, he puts his jacket on Hyri and says, let's go home. And then he brings Hyri back home. Seeing whom, Jang-na says, where were you? And you went without telling like this? We were getting worried about you. And then Sunung Min says to Jang-na, why was your phone not connecting? Hyri says, my phone had switched off. Then Sunung Min says to Jang-na, Hyri must have been very scared. Let her rest right now. After this, Choi Woo and Hyri are in Choi Woo's room. Then Choi Woo says, I got scared. You are the first human whom I felt, but I was worrying about this thing, that I might hurt you. Hyri says, so were you behaving mean with me because of this reason? Choi Woo says, forgive me. Earlier, when I had separated from you, then I realized that I don't know anything about you, how you feel. But now we both are here. So now we can know each other well. But I am going to leave soon. Choi Woo says, I know. Hyri says, Choi Woo, close your eyes and try to feel me. Hearing this, Choi Woo closes his eyes. Just then, Hyri holds Choi Woo's hand. And Choi Woo feels Hyri's hand and says, yes, this is your hand. And just then, Hyri kisses him. Choi Woo smiles and says, these are your lips. And Choi Woo opens his eyes and kisses Hyri. Then further we see, Sunung Min comes to Choi Woo and says, I remember that I had come to you and what I had told you. Choi Woo says, you are remaining true as you are. Nothing like that happened. Just then, Sunung Min says, you are truly a selfish human. You don't see that I am trying to protect my one-sided love. I always told Hyri that I don't like you. Out of this fear that somewhere our friendship might break, I protected Hyri every time. Saying this, Sunung Min starts leaving from there. Choi Woo says, I was also afraid that I might not give up Hyri, and Hyri might get hurt. But because of you, it became clear to me that I cannot let Hyri go far from myself. Hearing this, Sunung Min thinks, that decision which was difficult for me became very easy for him. This means his feelings are stronger than my feelings. If it is so, then I also won't keep my feelings suppressed. In the next scene, Hyri is seen with Sunung Min. Just then, Sunung Min says to Hyri, do you remember what I said that night? The night I held your hand on the stairs? Hyri says, I forgot. Then Sunung Min says, whatever I said, that was true. Yesterday when I came to pick you up, even then I was serious. Hyri says, what are you talking about? I don't understand anything. Sunung Min says, no problem. If you don't remember anything, then I tell everything again. When I met you for the first time, I kept thinking about you and kept looking at you. I like you, but I was afraid to tell that somewhere you might leave me and go. Hyri says, sorry, forgive me, but you know that my heart doesn't beat for anyone else. But Choi Woo is the first human. Sunung Min says, this is injustice. Neither the one whom you like for the last 3 years, and you sat in love with some stranger in 3 days. But whatever it is, after speaking, the burden on my heart became light. Hyri says, Sunung Min, I like you very much as a friend. I like talking and roaming with you and Jang-na very much. Sunung Min says, Jang-na told me that you can love anyone, or friendship. So I love you. So I won't keep friendship with you. Hearing this, Hyri starts crying. Just then Choi Woo comes there and wipes Hyri's tears and hugs her. Choi Woo, seeing this, gets very angry. After this, the scene from 1 year later is shown, where Hyri is telling the audience the mermaid story which we started 1 year ago, and now we have come back to our real life. Just then, a handsome boy comes there, who asks her, will you go on a date with me? Then Jang-na says, she already has a boyfriend. Just then, Hyri looks outside, where no one was standing. So she continues talking about her old things, and says, even though we have come back to our real life, but nothing happened as we wanted. We are still yearning for each other, and our story has just started. This drama has a sad ending.